Welcome back. We finally have the election date. The polls will be held in 7 phases again this time around, beginning from April 19th and ending on the 1st of June. The results will be on the 4th of June. That's when we will know who will be the next government. Well, let's go across to our reporters, and we're joined by Sunil Prabhu, Aishwarya also joining us, Radhika as well, and Saurabh joining us on West Bengal. And Sunil, first to you, once again, 7 phases. But there was some sort of expectation that perhaps it would be a shorter election. It's spread across 6 weeks.
Well, it is, as you rightly pointed out, seven phases. So, and it's in that context that the Election Commission is trying to send a very, very strong message across the board that they wanted it to be done in a free and fair manner. What was expected was, that simultaneous elections for Jammu and Kashmir, and as he explained, for that you need 450 to 500 companies, and that was not available for this for the Election Commission to do in terms of conduct the election. So when people talk about simultaneous elections like the Cohen Commission panel, then if you are going to have, a single, you wanted to have simultaneous elections, these are the problems. It will carry on for 4 months or 6 months based on availability, because I think the essence, as the Constitution demands, is free and fair. So that's a criteria which the Election Commission finally decided at the drawing board stage not to go. I think by and large the Chief Election Commissioner answered some very tough questions, as you know, something that I had asked on, the differences between him and Mr. Arun Goyal, while he extensively hinted at what could have been the reason, didn't want to break convention as his worthy predecessors in terms of what happens in that closed room of the commission, which he says is circular, and definitely, the fact that they were missing Mr. Arun Goyal today. But that being said, the fact of the matter is that the Election Commission's focus this time is to ensure that the 4 M's are, monitored in the most brilliant manner in terms of Manipur, misinformation, model code of conduct, and various other schemes.
That's right. The first time you have the Chief Election Commissioner commenting on, Mr. Arun Goyal having quit. But Saurabh, so once again in Bengal, the elections are spread across all the 7 phases.
That's right. It begins in the first phase on 19th April all the way up in North Bengal. And, then ends in the last phase on 1st June in Kolkata and South Bengal. So it's almost coming down, in every phase, and each phase has certain seats in the state going to polls. Now, obviously, this is something that the Trinamool Congress did not want. The Trinamool Congress said that these kind of 7 phases or, long drawn-out elections is something that helps the BJP. They said that, this was something that they had conveyed to the Election Commission, that, there are schools that are taken up for elections, there are colleges that are taken up for elections, officers are going on duty, teachers go on election duty. So they say that, all of these things put together should not have been allowed, that the election should be done in 1 or 2 phases. But obviously the Election Commission in its wisdom has decided that it will be 7 phases again for West Bengal, something that is not going to go down well with the ruling party. But the others say that the security situation in the state, or the fact that the state has had a history of very violent elections, including the last elections, the Panchayat elections even saw a lot of violence. So in that context, perhaps the Election Commission was taking no chances, because like Sunil was pointing out, free and fair elections, equal playing field is something that have been the driving motto. But obviously, this is not going to be accepted well by the Trinamool Congress. They will have to anyways fight the elections as per the schedule set by the Election Commission. That is given. But obviously, they're not going to be happy about that decision. The BJP, on the other hand, has asked for more central forces, saying that, elections in West Bengal have often tended to favor the ruling dispensation, given the fact that, they accuse the bureaucracy, they accuse the police of being tilted in favor of the ruling dispensation. So given all of this, that Election Commission has decided that it will be 7 phases in Bengal, is going to be a long drawn out process. People in North Bengal will vote first, people in Kolkata and South South Bengal will vote last. The regions in between will vote in between in the phases. So right from the 19th of April till the 4th of June, yes, Bengal is going to have elections all through. Some part of the state is going to be in elections. So obviously this is going to be a long, drawn-out election, something that the Trinamool firmly opposed in its
election
meeting
for
with the
you to
Electoral
cover
Commission.
as well, Saurabh. But Uma, all the action in your part of the country will take place on the 13th of May, when both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh will go to the polls.
Yes, indeed. Peak of summer, that's when Telangana and Andhra Pradesh both are going to be voting, and therefore the run-up to the elections is going to be that much more hectic in that sense. And yes, I would actually think that Andhra Pradesh more than Telangana is what will be watched much more carefully, at least for the people in the Telugu states, because the fierce assembly election battle as well that will take place simultaneously in Andhra Pradesh, where you see the YSRCP on the one side and the tripartite alliance of the BJP, TDP and the Janasena on the other. So that is for us the most exciting election to watch, I would think, from the Telugu states itself. Of course, Telangana also with the Congress and the BJP really upping the ante and hoping to get the maximum numbers out of the kind of, should I say, the kind of setback that the BRS has suffered, and now with the arrest of Kavita as well, the morale of the BRS may not be very high, and at this time both the Congress and the BJP would be hoping to get the maximum numbers of votes from the BRS and get that transfer into their own kitty. And that's why I think Telangana is going to be very interesting, because while the BRS puts up its candidates, from the way the candidates have been fielded, the names that are coming out, and many of them not willing to even contest these particular elections, and also because assembly elections and parliament elections tend to be very different in the way the voters vote, and therefore the battle is really going to be between the Congress and the BJP here, and with the BJP wanting to push maximum numbers from the south of the country, and for the Congress also Telangana, one of the big hopes to be able to get those numbers. Therefore the battle going to be quite fierce here too. Back to you, Gargi.
All right. Yes, Uma, so the battle there in fact, in just a short while, we're expecting that court judgment on Kavita to be coming in as well. But Aishwarya, the election commissioner, speaking very strongly about the 4 M's, what he called that muscle, money, misinformation and MCC violations. So many of the journalists questioning said that there's always been this sense of bias about, taking action against the leaders of the ruling party and taking action against opposition when it comes to violations.
Well, that's right, and very categorically it was informed by the Chief Election Commissioner that the rules are rules, and that is meant for all. Certainly the guidelines which had been given, 2100 observers that has been appointed this time for the elections will be looking very closely as to fact check the fake news and also the money power. There had been stations which had been established in different parts of the country, especially in the polling booth. The sensitive polling booths will be monitored very closely by the nominated observers from the Election Commission of India. The money which was sent by either helipads or airports, they had collaboration with the Airport Authority of India and also in association with the Aviation Ministry. They will be looking those places as well. Of course, misinformation is something that the Chief Election Commissioner has spoken about, on spreading fake news on the social media platforms, and that will be looked very closely as well. They have asked the banks as well to give sensitive transactions list to them as they get, because at the time of elections, Chief Election Commissioner stated that many transactions takes place, so that will be also closely monitored.